Hi, I'm Anais Salas, and it's January 2nd, and I have a very special invitation for you. I am a supporter of Bernie Sanders for president, and I think that any of us who are really sure that this is the direction that our country needs to go in next, and if we still believe that voting matters and that our showing up politically matters, then I think it's important for us to think about how we're supporting not only Bernie, but how we're supporting our own agenda for what I would call restructuring in the United States. You know, if you start throwing the word revolution around, it's not going to go well with the powers that be. So let's just talk about restructuring and the restructuring that we want to see at a very fundamental level, beginning with the next presidential cycle. The very special invitation is this. On February 1st, voters in Iowa will be attending the Iowa caucus, and they will be voting between Bernie and Martin O'Malley and Hillary Clinton to see who their state wants as the Democratic nominee. And then, of course, shortly after that comes the New Hampshire primary. Now, Bernie just recently drew a 31,000 person crowd in Iowa, so his message is getting across. But what I want to make sure we understand is that we need to take it a step further and we need to help Bernie. He doesn't need to do all of the heavy lifting. We also know, for those of us who've been watching what's going on with Bernie, and we are getting our information from the internet, that mainstream media is either ignoring Bernie's success. They're only reporting on him when they absolutely have to and under great pressure. And we understand that's because these mainstream media outlets are owned by the corporations who have bought our government, particularly the Republican side. But both sides are guilty of being for sale when it comes to our elected representatives. So the invitation is for us to kind of declare February 1st a national potluck day. And what we do is we don't go to work on National Potluck Day. We commune with our neighbors and our families and our friends. And I'm going to invite those of you who have the technical chops to help me create live streaming events in support of Bernie all over the country, maybe even all over the world. So that means you can just set up a live stream and in your time zone and invite people over for coffee cake or tea, whatever you want to do, have a potluck, and let's all be plugged in to what's happening in Iowa. So I'm seeing this as a kind of a national potluck day, but also a day to all create a gathering and get our digital tickets and get on the bus and take a ride to Iowa in support of Bernie for that day. So I'm going to give you a link to my YouTube channel, and you'll find playlists on there. And I think what I'll do is I'll make a video a day and connect that to information that you might want to have, because this is a time where we really have to connect the dots about the New World Order agenda. And part of that is about bringing America under corporate fascist control completely. So we know about the incidents that are going on isolated across the country, but they're not isolated incidents. And that's what I need you to really understand. So we can get beyond the fear perimeter that is closing in around us more tightly every day. And we can begin our gathering, our national gathering of non-compliance and non-cooperation. So I think it really begins by putting companies and corporations in the United States on notice that if they don't have anybody coming to work for them, oh well. And that will prevent us from going forward with the agenda of engaging in another World War III, another world war, because that's what they want. They make so much money when we go to war. It's unbelievable how much money these people make. So we're going to non-comply with that agenda. And we can start now. We don't have to wait until we're closer to the brink of World War III. And I think when we have Bernie in office as president, World War III will not happen, in the same way that Obama has managed to stave off the military-industrial complex around the issue of ISIS and what's going on in Syria, and he's walked a very tight deadline. He has been forced to do other things, which I find really horrific, the Trans-Pacific Partnership being one of them. But it's time for us to step up. So let's do it. Let's have a national potluck day. Get on the digital bus with me. Join Bernie for the Iowa caucus day, and let's create the gathering that we need to restructure the nation. Take care. Look for the link below and join me, and feel free to direct me to videos. I'm going to give you my Twitter handle. It's at Tech Talk Cafe, and I'll be posting the videos there as well. I'm not going to bother setting up a separate handle for this. It's just not worth it. So thank you so much for taking the few minutes to pay attention to this video. I'm going to post it on all the Bernie pages on Facebook, and I will be making calls for Bernie as well over the next few weeks. But I think let's just take one step per day, and let's all end up together in Iowa on the 1st of February. As many of us as we possibly can manage to just take the leap of courage and do what we need to do all together now. All right, thanks.